just like that, one of the best half hours in all of crypto YouTube is back. Let me know if you can't hear me. I had the girls in here playing with the audio equipment earlier, but I think it's all right. Welcome back to Crypto After Dark. Let's get it. It's been a crazy interesting day. Crazy interesting couple days. Really speaking, honestly, it's been so wild one way or the other in both directions. Things have gotten so snappy. Charts are going wick wild. Let's talk about them a little bit. But first, if you haven't done so, go hit like, hit comments, and make some comments. And by the way, click the notification bell and subscribe. It costs nothing to do so. It's free. What do you get for it? You get some of the best content you can get on the internet regarding crypto charts, in my opinion. Now, I'm no expert. I just do what I do, and this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. By the way, I'm freaking exhausted. Just tired. Been going trading pretty hard here. Wanted to get the little futures account up to a certain level. I did. Shorted the heck out of some stuff, particularly a couple different ones. I shorted CRV, made some money, shorted CRV again, and now I'm kind of stuck in it. So I got to wait it out a little bit here. I got plenty of margin. I think I'm good there. Just got to wait it out and stick it out. I can't do anything else other than have a drink and chill. But check this out. Before the stream, went and got a burrito, and I'm tell you what, my stomach was messed up. So the last little bit I spent with stomach cramps and dealing with some crap. So I'm really excited to go to bed after this. So anyway, welcome, and let's go say hey to everybody real quick, and then we'll talk about the Bitcoin chart that we got pulled up here in front of everybody. This is the CME Bitcoin chart. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on, why the thumbnail is what the thumbnail is. Why do I mean this isn't good? Well, I'll kind of show you. What's up, Isham? Good to see you, Isham, bro. Frank, Dynamis, Mateo, Tila Tequila. Oh, God, Mateo. Oh, Lord. So we stayed up late trading, and I don't know how it happened, but somebody said Tila Tequila, and then they started calling me Tila Tequila. Oh, Tequila. I was like, oh, God. Oh, God. And then I couldn't stop laughing. We had a heck of a night. And we do this all the time in our Discord. If you haven't jumped into our Discord, feel free, man. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. Right here is the Discord. Right here. Bam. Free. When you click on this, you click continue to Discord. This here pops up. And you got a whole Discord full of stuff to come and hang out, talk to us, and chop it up about charts, chop it up about crypto. We have tons and tons of charts, sections, chat sections. You can ask questions to get answers. We have a like-minded community full of smart people who want to make the most money possible. That's what we're here to do. Jump on over there. It's free to the end of the year. Why not? Launchpass link is down below. You can also use 786unlimited.com. All right, so Bitcoin chart that I have pulled up in front of me. This is the daily chart, the Bitcoin CME chart, and there's a couple things I wanted to point out first. All right, number one, we do have a CME gap from this weekend because we had movement over the weekend, which I never really like to see. I never really want to see a volatile weekend because when we have a volatile weekend, that leaves a gap. What do I mean by a gap? Well, there's a gap in the chart and Bitcoin from when it opened and closed over the weekend. This happens every single time we have volatility on the weekends. It feels good, right? That it's moving finally because people get bored and they don't want to see the chart go sideways. And I get it. I get that way too. However, when this happens, we get stuck, right? We have to wait on these gaps to close a lot of the times. I'm going to pull these moving averages off here and show you just the gap right there. Right there is our gap. And you see it's only 3% up to fill it. We filled this smaller gap right here, but we do have this upper gap up to about 16,555. Does that mean we're going to go get that right now? No, could wait till later. But it did form over the weekend. And I got the 15-minute chart pulled up here so you can see it, because if I go down to daily, you won't even be able to see it. It's so small. And I'll show you here. Look at that. You can't even read it. It's so tiny. But it doesn't change the fact that it's there. We need this gap to close eventually. It wouldn't be bad if it closed later, because that would mean the price is going to particularly come back up to this area at some point. Gaps close 80+% of the time. All right. We want to see it. I didn't say hey to everyone. Corey, Bill, Frank, good to see y'all. Educated Dummy, what's up, John? Ever Forward, Sun Heights. Aaron, what's up, Aaron? C Pulse, Thor's Hammer, Rope-a-Dope. Quigs, what's up, Quigs? Nate Lambo, Jeremy Monroe, he stayed up late. Danny Deep Pockets, what's up? Terry, Ghost Guy. Good to see everybody. So, a lot of regulars, and I love to see regulars in here. That means you guys are into it. It doesn't really mean that you watch because you want to be watching, that you're into it. It's dope. We have a falling wedge here, or a descending wedge, or a bear flag, bear pin. I don't care what you want to call it. Nothing here immediately jumps out to me and says, oh my God, this is so beautiful, we're going to run up. Now, it's possible that we get a breakout here. Let's draw this something like this, right? I'm not being perfect here. I'm just showing you. A bit of a flag down here, and it's possible that we get some action coming up, and this thing breaks out and runs up and goes and tests the bottom of this resistance line right here that's been there for quite a while, that we have jumped up underneath. Now, we did test it one time right here with this green candle that you see right here. See that green candle? Back test that resistance line. And then we capitulated further at a very ugly bearish engulfing. And since then, we've kind of driven sideways again. Again, boring sideways. And I know you don't want to see it. The fact still remains. It's doing the same thing again. That boring sideways dribble drabble that doesn't get us anywhere. That goes to say that there are other indicators we can look at and kind of see what we think might happen. All right, let's go to moving averages here. Has anything changed here? No, we're still very far down with downward pressure pushing down. All these moving averages are on top of the price. See that? 8 EMA, 21 EMA, 50, 100, and 200 EMA, all pressing down on the price, forcing it down. That's why I drew that green yellow arrow there. Kind of shows you the downward pressure that's being applied to the price. It's pretty darn constant. It hasn't really let up yet. Every time it wants to make a rebound, it kind of pushes back again, over and over and over and over again. All these rejections are never good. Ask any guy that can't get the girl, and they'll say the same thing. Oh man, so many rejections all the time. It discourages you, right? Exactly. So as far as the RSI goes, Relative Strength Index is what RSI stands for. So make it big here. I got a lot of stuff going on the screens here, so I'm trying to watch everything. We already had one oversold. Very cool. Problem is we didn't break north of 40 after we got that oversold. We stayed under 40. You really want to see the price get over 40 and range in between 40 and 50 at least. Or you want to see it bounce 40 and go to 50 and make a good solid move up and show some strength here. Has not done that. In fact, it's doing nothing but showing the opposite. It's kind of pushing back and down sideways. Not what we want to see. Why? Well, the more this thing drives down and sideways, the more likely it is it dips back into oversold again. That sucks. I'm okay with it because I can short it, and I'll short it till the pits of hell, right? But I understand that everybody wants to buy. Everybody wants to buy and get their piece, and they want to hurry up and get in. They want to hodl. They want to make their money. They want to just buy spot trades. You want to put your money in and dollar cost average. I get it. The underlying problem, it's just not quite ready for that yet. We could see a break. We haven't seen it yet. Let's go to some other indicators here just to show you. All right, pivots. All right, we're still all the way under S3, 16,505. Remember I said a moment ago, 16,555 was the CME gap. Kind of leans me to believe it may come back, give that number a bump, and then fade back. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to, but it's fully possible here. Still stuck under S3 till the end of the month. That's another 7 days that it's got to go and maintain underneath these pivots. Pivots will reset then, and we'll get 3 new support lines to look at. How's the high time frame look, right? Let me erase this because it's going to get ugly if I don't. Let's say good morning, Keith. Please tell me sold prediction. Oh, bro. Somewhere around $5 to $6 maybe. What's up, Angel? What's up, Angel Ponce? What's up, Kevin Luce? All right, so I'll try to get to those, Terry. Hang on a second. Let me write this down. My fault. I'm off my game a little bit, dude. Don't feel so great. Matt, are these equities? Terry? They don't sound like cryptos. Sound like equities. If so, just let me know. Hey, what's up, Sven? Good to see you, brother. Dreamer. Hey, what's up, man? What's up, bro? Y'all go hit like. They're free. Likes don't cost anything here, okay? Go hit them. The more you like, the more it pushes us up at the algorithm, and we're getting close to 10,000 subs. We want to get that 10,000 sub mark. Got some crap I want to give away, man. Anyway, if this fails south, my targets are still as follows. I'm going to jump over to the Tether chart now because it's easier. I already have this pulled up. I still like 14,000 to 13.5. There's a green box right here for a reason. I still like this level to potentially get hit. That lends itself to say it may test back on resistance first. It is hitting that red line right there, which is the 50 Fibonacci line on the high time frame. And I'll step out on the high time frame now so you can see what I mean. Pull all the indicators off. I'll go to weekly. There you go. As you see, we're still sitting right there. That yellow arrow is pointing towards the 50 fib, which is short-term support here. Not a ton. There is some old support back here, right? You see, I kind of got this arrow pointing toward support. We have thrown a hammer candle on the weekly. That's never bad. Now, we've seen it before where hammer candles don't play out. They just roll over and play dead. Still fully possible. It's had a ton of downward pressure. You would think that eventually breaks. Now, I can't crystal ball it, but I'll say this. The next week or two are going to be make or break. Getting over that purple line right there, that barrier around 20,000, or 18,000 now, 18.5 pretty much, 19. Getting over that is like hardcore zero barrier. Got to happen. If we can get over that level, it changes everything, okay? Everything is going to try to move back up and potentially run back up to 22,008. That level gives us a differential and shows us that we flip resistance into support. Now, that hasn't happened yet. I want to see it happen. Once it happens, excellent. I can't say anything about up until that happens. And I know there's room from 16,000 to 18.8, 18.5, whatever. That's fine. I don't worry about that. It's fine. We can leverage trade that on a low time frame if you really, really wanted to, right? We probably will. I'm not really trying to long anything right now because I don't like to long during bear cycles. And this is very clearly, with that yellow arrow a minute ago, shows you a bear cycle. Ultimately, I think this shelf right here, I like this little plateau right here, around 11,000 to 10,000 to 9,000, somewhere around in here, becomes hardcore support. There's just much more support down here than there is up here. There's some here, but not a ton. 50 fib is great, but we've seen more often than not, Bitcoin respects the 618 fib and the other golden pocket fibs of 68 and 71 down here more than it respects the 50 fib. Now, it is respecting that 50 fib right now. How much longer? Who knows? Hey, what's up, Phoebe? How you doing? Sorry, I'm a little low on energy. I'm not drinking any energy drinks, nothing. It's just water. I wasn't feeling so great before I came on here. And had a rough night last night. Made good money, but had a rough night. Oh, I forgot to post my profits. I'll do that later. I'll post the profits for all the trades that I had today. I've been doing that every day, posting my profits and showing what I made, what I didn't make. If I lost anything, I'll post that too. I think I've had like 2 or 3 trades in the red. All the rest of them been green, except the one I'm in now. So we'll wait it out and see what happens. All right, let's jump over to total market cap now. Similar situation here, only not as far down. Same little shelf you're hitting right here over on the old 2017 bull run peak. All right, this never got hit before on any other previous bull run, as you see. Never got tested before, but did get tested this time. Kind of tells me it's maturing. I think that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing for the space that some of these charts are maturing out and becoming more dependable. I mean, call me crazy, but that seems like a good thing to me. However, you see I got south for the winter written right here. Yeah, I mean, that would be a similar level to where Bitcoin is now. Bitcoin's at the 50 fib. Total market cap is not. You're saying that Bitcoin could go down to the golden pocket, which would be a similar move money-wise to down here around this 50 fib on total market cap. Now, does total market cap respect the 50 fib or the 618? We don't have enough data to be positive. I want to say 618, but it's up for grabs. It's not as consistent as Bitcoin or Ethereum is. Just something we've noticed. It's not a guarantee, more so a point of attention. That's what I kind of like to think of it as, a point of attention to keep your eye on. See, does it play out the way we think it may? How long is this going to take? Well, that leads me to our Bitcoin historical chart that I put in the newsletter recently. If you're not in the Discord, you don't get the newsletter, but we put the newsletter in the announcements section every single Sunday night for everyone to read. Every one of the admins and mods kind of come together and pitch in and see what they want to think or what they want to do. Then we put the newsletter out, kind of give everybody some information on what we're thinking, what we're doing, what we're not doing, etc. Whew, that's a mouthful. So we're still in this capitulation zone between 100 days and midway. Same thing right here, 100 days and midway. Same thing has happened back here, 100 days and midway. Similar action, right? You had some up candles, and then you had more some down candles, and it kind of drove sideways and had a real hard pullback. Well, you've kind of already had one little pullback, and here we have an up candle. Are we going to continue that? Things have matured, and I will agree with that. However, we also had historical retraces down here of 87%, 83%, 82%, something like that. Yeah, there you go. 84%. I wrote them on there. 87%, 84%. Right now, we're at 67 to 70. We're not at that level yet. Is it going to get to that level? It leads me to believe it will. People have asked me what events are going to make it happen. Well, it got thrown in my face 35 times today that someone manipulated CRV. Essentially, they borrowed a lot, got the money back. They had to pay it back. That sucked. They got shit kicked out of them. Tried to short, didn't work. Ended up loaning, blah, 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 blah. Not the point. More so, the point is, welcome to DeFi, where this is allowed, and you have to be prepared for it. This is why I preach about stop losses all the time. Check this out. I set a stop loss on my leverage short. The order book went from, I want to say, something like 0.55, and in 2 minutes, it went from 0.55, right when the 5-minute chart flicks over, to 0.58. It jumped right over my number as if it wasn't even there. And you can watch the order book just going nuts. And, well, I'm stuck. So now I've got to chase it. Now, the good news is I had plenty of margin to put behind it, so I could make sure that that didn't cost me any great amount of money. I want to say I'm down. Let me look up real quick. That wasn't it. Down. How much? $74. No, $77. I'm down $77 on that. But it's only at 4x leverage. So kick my feet up and relax. Nothing I can do about it except let it ride. I ended up putting way more in that than I wanted to, but I had to chase it up once my stop loss got flipped. And that will happen to you. There are inevitabilities in this. When you leverage trade, you are taking these risks, especially if you want to leverage trade the most volatile crypto of the day, which is exactly what I did. I leverage traded CRV, and I made a win on it first, then I got beat. But I also made wins on Bitcoin, AVAX, FTM, SHIB, EOS, Binance Coin again, a bunch of them. And they're always all going to work out. Sometimes you're going to lose. Take it on the chin and walk away. That's part of the game, breaks of the game. If you don't like it, don't get in crypto. And especially don't leverage trade if you're not willing to lose sometimes, because you're going to lose. And it's going to suck. It's going to burn. Take it like a man and move on. Remember it. Write it down. Write down what happened and try to see what you could do to fix that from happening next time. Did you get back with me, Terry, on whether those are equities or not? No. All right, I didn't. I always have great respect for Mr. Professor Keith and his team. Thank you, Mr. Vault. Good to see you, brother, and thank you for the kind words. SAP is, I know, is almost zero, but is there hope for it? Not touching that with a 10-foot pole, Mr. Vault. SAP looks awful. It's clear that they manipulated it from the beginning because they own the exchange, they own the rights, blah, 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 blah. We kind of knew that walking into any situation that happened to have with yield nodes, and that's exactly what happened in the long run. Glad I took profits along the way. Got most of my money out. But yeah, that's exactly what happened, Frank. It was moving too fast. It just hopped right over my order and left that shit sitting there. And I'm like, oh, what happened to my order? That would have lost me like 11 or 12 bucks. And I'd have been fine with that. But it just jumped right over it like it wasn't there. Now I've got to chase it. Too late. What are you going to do? Smile back and deal with it. All right. Let's look at some of this stuff that Terry gave us. Yeah, these are equities. All right. Yeah, look at this head and shoulders and then pull back. And now look at it. And I love it when I draw stuff on charts and it plays out. Look at that. That's beautiful, dude. All right. A clear uptrend break. Weekly is about overbought. What about daily? Yeah, daily's double, triple, quadruple tapped overbought. Under 382, brother, be careful here. I don't want to see it get burned because that is a triple overbought, quadruple overbought. Dang, that didn't happen very often. So I would expect some kind of pullback to this trend line here because it is still on an uptrend. That being said, I would ride this uptrend until it goes away. Once it fails, time to walk away. I think you know that though. I think he's trying to show that there are some breaks. Levi Stratus. All right, so he's seeing a potential break here. I can get what he's doing right here. I got his vibe now. Yeah, it hasn't broken yet, but a decent layout, and you have a short-term up right here. I need to see it break trend. Once it breaks trend, we can talk about putting some money on it. A lot of trash in the way. The 50 and the 100 and the 200 are dead in the way. I tell you what, once that breaks the 200 moving average, Terry, I'll be there to rock and roll with it. But not yet. Hey, what's up, Jay Gross? Good to see you, brother. Not doing too bad, dude. I made some money on CRV shorting it. I'm stuck in CRV right now. That's part of the game, dude. It did some what seemed to be extremely volatile stuff. However, we can look at the chart in a moment and you'll kind of see that even though it's being hella volatile, it's kind of going to some technical barriers here and stopping. No matter what, the bots are going to catch up to whatever we do. Even if we try to get slick and manipulate stuff, they're going to catch up. They're going to catch up every single time. So don't think you're smarter than computers because I'm not. It's likely that you're not either. There are a few people in the world that are. I know I'm not. So, hey, what's up, Nick? Good to see you. Ronan, Dag. All right, let's look at first I got to do these other ones. They already got them. Silk. Silk is crypto. Gotcha. Thank you, Terry. You did say it. Thank you. Sorry about that, brother. I don't got Silk on here. I'll do it on Uniswap. Big, huge flag right now. I want to see this break. Show me something first. Look at that flag right there. Show me something. Break that flag and we'll talk about it. Nothing I can do on that one. Yeah. Another thing there, J. Nicholas Gross. You can't do anything about it. So once it happens, you just roll with it, right? You can't stop it. You can't contain it. You can't change it. There's nothing you can do. In fact, it's up to the exchange to decide whether they want to honor it or not honor it. And don't let them think they can't just turn the decks off because they can, right? They could track down the wallets. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff. But we'll look at it now. How about that? And kind of get an idea for what I'm saying here. Pull up the big CRV chart. I'll take these moving averages off first. Let's look at it without them first. How about that? All right. If we scroll back here a bit, got a big fib pulled up. I'll pull off. This has been in a gnarly downtrend for quite some time. In fact, hasn't broken into an uptrend, just fooling around with its downtrend. Did capitulate pretty far, but it didn't run down to a level where I thought it would. It stopped at an early take profit line. Papa Nick Sickle. That's pretty good, Ronan. See, it stopped at 1272 here. I thought this would go to 1414 or 1618 down to a quarter. I believe I said that on a live stream. So everyone can remember that I'm wrong about that one, about that. But it did bounce that 1272 and pop back up. Which level did it pop back up to? Well, once we have a complete fib run like this and we start breaking ranges, we can pull back in the other direction. And I'll do that now. From the swing high to the swing low. You see right now we are smacking the bottom of 382. the 382 fib twice now. We smacked it hard, bounced off of it. That's 68.2 cents. It's had a hard time breaking that barrier. It's hit it a couple times. Is it going to hit it again? You know what? There's a high likelihood that it hits it again, isn't it? Let's add in some moving averages. That's just one of them. I could pull another fib from this bottom here to here, and you see that it's kind of sitting at the 50 fib, trying to break it, trying not to break it, bouncing back and forth, can't make its mind up. One step at a time. It's also making a very gnarly flag on the 5 minute. It's got bearish divergence on low time frames, but every time it gets bearish divergence, it breaks it. So I'm to assume it will continue breaking it. I'm just going to leave it be and see what happens. You know what I mean? I got plenty of margin. I'll just let it ride. I don't think it's bull market time, and I have enough to cover any kickouts or liquidations, so it's okay. It would have to get up past all the resistance at one time. I just don't see that quite happening yet. Let's see. Pull out some moving averages here. All right. Yeah, there you go. 821 EMA is kind of bouncing back and forth in the wait a minute zone. Hasn't completed anything yet. Could hit the 21 here and roll back. Happened plenty of times before. Also could run up to the 50 moving average. Happened plenty of times before. There's a trend line here, and this little breakout happened but immediately failed. And ever since then, we've been bouncing around off this 50 fib. I'm sorry, off the 50 moving average, back and forth and back and forth, as you see how many times it's hit it there, over and over. What levels will we look for if this thing fails? Well, let's be crystal ball readers and say it's failing now. It's failing now. My immediate levels, okay, this is a really, really tight fib. And because it's so tight, I'm going to step down to the 4 hour, which I don't like doing. All right. Step down to the 4 hour. And you can kind of see that we're still in the upper range. Haven't broken out of it yet. And in fact, this 100 moving average on the 4 hour is right at 63.9, which is the 236 fib. It'll have to break back down through that. There's a good possibility it does that. But one step at a time, okay? We can't say for sure whether it will or it won't. It's throwing a 4 hour spinning top candle right now, which tends to mean reversal. However, look at that big gnarly shooting star red candle it threw and continued to go up. So what I talk about with crypto patterns, with chart patterns with crypto all the time. Man, be careful. Stuff gets way too sharp, way too fast. So it's probably not best to be silly and chase these patterns all the time. It'll burn you. It's burned me in the past. I don't want to see it burn you. Let's step down even more. The 2 hour. This will be the last one we do, by the way. Similar situation here. 4 hour. The 2 hour has a 200 moving average. Pretty much in the similar spot. 639. Hasn't tested it since it broke it. I expect it to test it, especially with this 8 EMA rolling towards the 200 like this. I would expect a test here at 639, somewhere around in there. Maybe a bounce from there. Maybe a bounce back up. We'll see. Can that give it some momentum to push and maybe run up that trend line? There's a solid possibility that happens. One step at a time. I don't know. Let's go all the way down to the 1 hour. All right. Here's where the inefficiency starts. Tighten this up here. What do I mean by inefficiency? I mean the fact that all these candles have happened without any retrace. Usually when you have this much of a run up, manipulation or not, you get some sort of retrace along the way to close back the price action and give a fair value. It hasn't done that yet. Not even attempted it yet. You see it was respecting this 236 on the way up. Now it's respecting it again, but hasn't broken it. Will it hold this 8 EMA at 646, 644? Man, it's all held it for a long time. And like I said, we've got some bearish divergence forming here on the RSI. It's rolling over and starting to slow down, but it hasn't stopped. It hasn't stopped. And until it does, man, be careful. You've had some moving average crosses here without any really good price action pullbacks. These are naked crosses. When these naked crossings happens like this, you tend to see reversal back towards them. And it hasn't happened yet. You want this to happen along the way. You want to see, I'll draw it out for you. You want to see something of the nature of this, right? And what happens when you do this is you're getting a fair value each time on the way up. All right. Happens all the time this way. That did not happen. This just shot straight up like it wasn't even there. Just bam, right on up. When that happens, immediately throws a red flag to me and gives me the short feeling. Now, I got in this one too early, obviously. But I'll wait it out here. I'm not worried. I'm going to give it some time. And you never put more money in this than you're willing to lose. I always say this all the time. But when it comes to leverage, when it comes to futures trading, or if you're even doing forex, don't even put more money in the account than you're willing to lose, because what's going to happen is you're going to get down. And when you get down, you're going to chase it too much. You're going to put too much back in, too much in the pot, trying to correct your mistake over and over and over again, and it's going to burn you. So it's best just not to do that. Don't even put more than a couple $100 in the wallet to begin with. That way, if you mess up, you messed up small. You messed up small. You didn't mess up in the form of 10,000 or 20,000 or 50,000, right? It happens all the time. It happens to some of your favorite influencers. They just like to tell you about it. And then when they do tell you about it, they talk about how I just have another $100,000 laying around. I'll put it right back in there. No biggie. Don't be them. Don't be stupid. Be smart. Don't be an ape. Okay? So, that's been 30 minutes. Thank y'all. I want to thank everybody for coming every single time we have a live stream like this. It makes me super happy, y'all. We got Thanksgiving coming up. We won't have a stream on Thursday. We will have one on Wednesday, because Wednesday is not Thanksgiving. It's the Thanksgiving Eve. We will have one on Wednesday, but not Thursday. We won't have one Thursday night. So we'll have one next week instead. Thank you all for coming. I'll leave y'all with this in the words of the late, great Notorious B.I.G. Could have been anywhere in the world, and you chose to come hang out with me. I appreciate that. All right. Thank y'all. See y'all next time. Sky's the limit. Peace.